I don't want to hear about the playoff format. I don't want to hear about the overtime loss getting you a point rule. I don't want to hear about how if you get more regulation wins, that is the tiebreaker.
Shots fired.
The reality is that the Red Wings should have never let it come down to this in the first place. They forfeited their ability to control their own destiny with how poorly they played from the last game of February up until that loss at LCA to the Capitals, by the way, which if they win that game, they do control their own destiny. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear people just blaming Philadelphia or Boston for not beating Washington. Again, see what I just said about how the Red Wings did not do enough in the last part of the season to make the playoffs. When you finish the season with 8 wins, 12 losses, and 3 overtime losses, so 8-15, you don't have the right to complain. You just don't. You don't have the right to just be like, oh, Philly, why could you bums, you couldn't do your job. Oh, Boston, you bums, you couldn't do your job. Get over it. It happens. The Red Wings should have played better when it mattered.
You're right. Well, but I'm not going to get over it, Philly.
I'm not saying get over it.
It hurts right now, man.
Be disappointed, but just don't make excuses. Be disappointed for how the season ended. I'm certainly not over it. I'm upset.
You're right.
And also, and this is one that I have to. I'm not going to say take a shot because this is the least bad of the sins. Darren McCarty right after the game basically said this is going to be a blessing in disguise. Again, I don't want to hear about an implosion being used as a blessing in disguise right now. It could end up being one. It all depends on how they respond. But to me, when you blame the format, when you blame other teams, when you use it as a blessing in disguise, you forfeit personal responsibility. And in this case, personal responsibility is the responsibility the Red Wings had to not F their season late on, especially in that 19-game stretch when they went 5-12-2. That's just not acceptable. And they are, what the Red Wings are doing right now is they're suffering the consequences of that poor stretch of hockey. Not a fourth of the season, the Red Wings were dog shit. They were when they needed to win most.